I can stand here and tell you that I'm sorry for lying, but that would also be a lie. What I'm not lying about the fact is that this device right here is my favorite Pixel of all time already, because it's simply the full package Android experience that the masses honestly will simply love. What's up everybody, this is Scott. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about, yep, you guessed it, the Pixel 6 Pro. I have had this device since September 16th, so at the time of the release of this particular video, I will have been using this device as my daily driver for nearly 6-7-ish weeks at this point. This is probably going to be a meaty video where I break it down into multiple chapters, so check the description below for timestamps if you kind of want to jump around and check out a ton of different sections that I have. First, let's start with the look, feel, and aesthetics of the Pixel 6 Pro. The Pixel 6 Pro is an exquisite looking glass and metal sandwich device that has a slightly curved display on the edges. If you've been paying any attention to the leaks, and then obviously last week when the device fully came out, you know, this has been a hot topic between people because you either love or hate the curved glass. This is Gorilla Glass Victus, supposedly the strongest Gorilla Glass that they have, and comes with an IP68 dust and water resistance. And because I am who I am, I immediately put on a screen protector on the device, because the last time that I didn't, on my Pixel 4 XL, I immediately got it scratched, and I have vowed since that day one scratch of a Pixel 4 XL years ago, I would always try to have a screen protector around. This is a beautiful 6.7-inch, 120 Hz LTPO glass panel that gets plenty bright outside, but in the absolute most harsh sunlight, it can be a little bit tough to read, but that's pretty much every single case of every single phone I've ever had in harsh sunlight when it's outside. It's not quite as bright as my iPhone 12 Pro, but it gets plenty bright when I'm outside reading or anything like that, unless I'm in like the peak of the day, super harsh lighting. As I mentioned, this is the screen that what Google calls the smooth display, and has a refresh rate of up to 120 Hertz and has the ability to go down to 10 Hertz, which gives you that battery life of 24 to 48 hours, and more on that in a little bit. One thing I will say is that you will love the feeling of this phone out of the case, but also because it's a shiny glass on the back, you want to keep it in a case because it can also get very slippery. It can be a fingerprint magnet on the back because of the materials that it's made out of. Personally, I would have preferred a matte type finish, but this isn't a deal breaker for me in the least. I think the design honestly stands out, and I absolutely love it. I love the camera bar across the top. When I put the phone down on the table, it doesn't wobble around or anything like that. But again, make sure you have a case on it because this thing is definitely slippy. The button placement on the right side of the screen with the power button on the top and the volume rocker on the bottom is a welcome placement, and the in-display fingerprint scanner, while I would have preferred a scanner on the back of the device, works well enough for me to be okay with it after being trained on it. I think with a few more software updates, it's going to be even faster, but it's not currently the fastest in-display fingerprint scanner that's out on the market. And again, more on that in a little bit too. There is the USB-C at the bottom with bottom-firing speakers with a dedicated speaker housed at the top within the thinner bezel at that said top. And speaking of speakers, these speakers get plenty loud. There is way more sound that comes out of these speakers, definitely a lot better than that of the Pixel 5 from last year. So these speakers definitely got an upgrade, as well as so many of the other things that got an upgrade in the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro. Needless to say, these speakers are light years better than what they were in the Pixel 5 and the under the glass speakers from last year. Moving on to battery life, this thing comes with a whopping 5,000 milliamp hour battery that lasts easily for me all day. Google's own site says that you can expect all day battery life with this device. And I'm here to report that that isn't all day battery life. It's in fact a day and a half for me with moderate usage. With heavy usage, it absolutely gets me through the day with little worry. Just in case you need to charge and you choose to buy the charger that is available separately, this device is capable of fast charging of 50% in just 30 minutes. 33 watts of charge to be exact, which means if you need to do a top off for the battery, you can get a lot really quickly to make sure that you have enough power for your life. For comparison, 33 watts is almost double the 18-watt max charger from the Pixel 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you're into the wireless charging and have a Pixel stand that can stand pumping out 23 watts of wireless power, your Pixel 6 Pro is equipped to handle 23 watts of wireless charging capabilities, which is a lot faster than many other ones out on the market today. Given that this is on Android 12, there isn't the same battery statistics like we're accustomed to seeing from the past. And I can show you, like on screen right now, the previous 24 hours with the phone, which includes charging, and if I charged it even a little bit during that 24-hour period. So again, take a look at the screenshots where you can see the total screen on time over a few days. Needless to say, I think that this device gets exceptional battery life and can run with the big boys in terms of all-day battery life for sure. At the end of the day, after picking up the phone off the charger at 6:30 a.m., I can usually get to dinner time with around 50% battery life remaining. And that includes several YouTube videos, TikToks, music streaming, work and personal emails, Instagram, and Twitter. Now, I'd say that's probably what the majority of people will play, but let's throw in some BeatStar and Golf Clash every once in a while to pass the time, and I have yet to ever worry about making it a full day with this battery life. Now let's talk about performance, considering that this is the new Google Tensor chip. Google's marketing line is going to be up to 80% faster against the Pixel 5, and here's what I do know so far by using this over the last 6-7 weeks. My photo processing speeds are faster, my app switching is quicker, my multitasking is effortless, and I have yet to experience any type of random shutdown, restart, or hiccup when it comes to this particular device. There is simply so much effortless power that's behind this thing that it absolutely just works, and I don't have to think about it. It's akin to the iPhone of quote-unquote just working, and this is where I think Google absolutely nailed it with the Pixel 6 Pro. The device effortlessly does real-time translation and has the best in the business when it comes to voice transcription. Simply put, the voice-to-text is something instant, fast, and more accurate than any other devices out there on the market right now, Android or iOS. Now, performance from playing a games perspective, I've been playing games like Golf Clash as well as BeatStar, and the phone simply just works flawlessly. And because of that 120 Hz refresh rate, BeatStar looks super smooth and Golf Clash looks vivid, smooth, and vibrant. All the animations, screen movements, and videos are just pleasing to the eye, and the device handles them like a champ. However Google has programmed the Tensor chip has made the experience the best, most smooth Pixel experience that I've ever had on a Google phone. Now, will this outpace other flagships in terms of raw power? Probably not, and you heard it in the keynote where they mentioned the Geekbench scores. But the overall experience with this phone is fast, snappy, processing power is plenty, and this phone has tuned for an overall incredible experience. Like I said, this is the best experience from a Google device that I have ever had. However, there is one thing that I do not like from the performance perspective, and it's the in-screen fingerprint scanner. The in-screen fingerprint scanner is, in my opinion, it could be a little bit faster when compared to other devices. I think software updates will make it faster, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's just something that I notice. It's just a little bit slower in comparison to others. If I had to give this phone a knock, it would be on the in-screen fingerprint scanner because I don't like really any of them, to be honest, regardless of phone manufacturer. Let's talk about software and OS support. Google's stepping up big time when it comes to the software and the OS support, not just because this comes with Android 12 out of the box, but because Google is offering at least 5 years of security updates bettering Samsung's 4 years that they recently announced. On top of that, they're going to be offering 3 years of official OS upgrades, which is honestly incredible as well. While I would have loved to have seen 4 or 5 years, 3 years and 5 years of security updates is pretty darn good as well. Now, because this is a Pixel, let's talk about the camera. This is a Pixel after all, so you know there's a ton to dive into when it comes to this camera. This device is equipped with a triple camera setup that is a 50 megapixel wide lens, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto lens that Google says captures more than 150% more light than any previous Pixel model. And you truly notice the more light, especially at nighttime or low light shots. The Pixel 6 also includes a telephoto lens with a 4x optical zoom and a super res zoom of up to 20x. Google brought back the popular ultra-wide 94-degree selfie shooter to make sure that you can get everyone in the shot when you're taking a selfie. And that parlays over nicely into the video section as well. Google also added in some new features, including new action pan and long exposure motion picture options that allow you to select from. Action pan focuses on the moving subject and then adds some creative blur, whereas the long exposure is exactly what you would think it is, and it adds a creative blur to the subjects. Both modes are pretty cool to play with, but I found long exposures are the ones that I tended to like a little bit more. The video got some major upgrades as well, with 4K 30 frames per second on the front-facing camera, and the first Pixel to ever have 4K on that selfie shooter. On the back, you can shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second, and I'm happy to report there are no overheating issues that I've noticed like those that I've experienced with some of the Pixel 5a recordings. Video modes come with a speech enhancement mode, which can capture clear voices in noisy environments. From wind, traffic, and crowd noises, the phone is smart enough to pick up your voice. The video mode also has slow motion, time-lapse modes from before, as well as the stabilization modes from before as well. The bottom line is this is the best Pixel camera we've ever seen. The Tensor chip, per some of the marketing materials, allows processing to happen so fast that as soon as you capture the photo, you're getting some of that computational magic googly stuff that's known for in mere moments after the moments have just happened. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, this is no BS. This is absolutely something that I've experienced when using this camera, is that you can capture the moment, be back in that moment within seconds, and you capture exactly what you were looking for from that moment. It's truly amazing. Now that I've said all of those things, let's take a look at some of the pictures that I have shot with the Pixel 6 Pro. Okay, so this is the front-facing 4K 30 frames per second. I'm actually recording this on a SwitchPod, significantly lighter when you only have one phone versus how you have two. So I'm recording this right now to put in the full review video, which is what you're watching right now, but I have some comparison videos coming out to talk about this versus a Note 20 Ultra and this versus the iPhone 12 Pro. So everything that you see is recorded directly from the phone, including the microphone. So this is what you could expect to listen from a front-facing camera perspective. How does this look? How does the stabilization look? 4K 30 on a selfie camera for the first time in a Pixel, and I'm very excited. Now let's flip this around so you can see exactly what 4K 60 looks like on the back. Now this is 4K 60 on the back. This is what you could expect from a stabilization and a color perspective. Take a look at the sky, take a look at the trees, take a look at the shadows. Are any of the blacks out there getting crushed in terms of the shadows? Take a look at the different colors in the trees. Take a look at the sky. Take a look up there. You can actually see the plane in the sky with the trail. Looks pretty dope. The sun's obviously up there in the left corner. Let's do a slight bit here. This is what the stabilization from the 4K 60 looks and sounds like. It's pretty darn good. Pretty darn impressed. Now let's jump back into studio and finish up this video. Obviously you see the camera and the video are just absolutely exquisite. There's so much goodness here in the Pixel 6 Pro package, but one of the greatest things is the price point. This phone is high-end and performs like a high-end phone, and it looks like a high-end phone as well. With that said, I fully expected this phone to have like a high-end price point, but, and this is where Google really shocked me. Google came out and made this phone at a shockingly great price of less than $900 before tax. And that puts some things into perspective really quick. So let's look at the OnePlus 9 Pro, still coming in at $969 on their website. The Samsung S21 Plus is $999, and the iPhone 13 Pro is $999, but really the 6 Pro should be compared to the Pro Max because they both have 6.7-inch displays, and that puts the Pro Max at $1099. So the Pixel 6 Pro is $100 cheaper than the S21 Plus, the iPhone 13 Pro, and $200 less than that of the Pro Max. So that means you're going to be getting a phone that gets 5 years of updates, 3 years of OS updates, arguably the best camera on a smartphone currently on the market, upgraded video quality, all-day battery life, a clean Android experience for less than all of the other current flagships. Absolutely sign me up. Are you kidding me? If you're looking to wait and see what Google's going to offer for later, don't wait. There's a chip shortage, and this thing is priced the way that it is. It's going to sell out super fast. You can just tell from the very first day when everybody was trying to pre-order, there were some people getting unable to get the devices at all, and then some were getting the devices with shipping dates somewhere in late November or early December. So yeah, if you can go get it now, check B&H, check Best Buy, check Google Store, check Walmart, check them all, see if you can get the device. Check all of those places to see if you can get a Pixel 6 Pro right now. So at the end of the day, would I recommend this device? Absolutely, hands down, I would recommend this device. This has quickly become my all-time favorite Pixel and maybe Nexus/Pixel device that has ever been made. I don't care that it has a shiny back panel. I don't care that it has a fingerprint scanner that isn't physically on the back. This device is just too good to pass up. Google definitely brought their A game with the release of the Pixel 6 Pro. And so stick to this channel over the course of the next week or so. Make sure you hit the notification bell, like, share, subscribe, do the whole 9 yards, because I'm going to be putting out a ton of Pixel content over the next couple of weeks. So that's it. That's all I have. As always, like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment below, and we will see you next time.